Aisha, good to have you.
Good afternoon, Inam.
Now, Aisha, can you tell us what's the mood at the conference today and how engaged are the participants?
Well, I'll say the mood here at the conference would be a very vibrant one. I mean, women from different strata of life have converged right in this hall, and they are talking about how to advance women's rights, especially issues that are relating to women. I mean, women have long been underrepresented regarding governance and leadership. So here, there are lots of conversations ongoing, quite brilliant and intelligent conversations going on in there as to how to push the conversation forward.
Right. And can you tell us now, in terms of issues and the theme, what are some of the key issues or themes that are dominating some of the discussions this year?
The theme dominating the discussion this year is underrepresentation and how women can have more voice in the area of leadership and governance. I mean, they're calling for grassroots women to see how they can come together and support women who are vying, who have shown interest to come up for elective positions. I mean, we're talking about elections, they want to campaign, they're calling on grassroots women to support them and not let them to be by themselves. It's just a general call to action. And then also one other major issue here is how they are drumming support for the reserve seats bill, which is at the National Assembly, I mean the House of Representatives at the moment. So women are also clamoring for more support, more push to see that the bill comes to the light of the day and it is finally assented to, it becomes an act.
Right. And I mean, Aisha, I believe that this is not really just another gathering for women, and there's an objective as to why organizations gather. But can you tell us that how are the organizers and participants planning to translate these discussions into tangible action for women empowerment across Nigeria?
Well, first of all, it's for the conversations to start. And once these conversations continue, they intend to also involve the lawmakers, where these conversations will be transformed into policies, laws, so that it's not just words, it's not just conferences, but our words are put to action, are put to paper, and then implementation follows.
Thank you so much, Aisha. We'll cross back to you if time allows us. Now, across Africa, debates over democracy, government, and accountability are taking center stage yet again. Here in Nigeria's capital, Abuja, the Fix Politics Africa Conference 2025 has brought together reformers, civil society voices, and policymakers from across the continent. The two-day event revolves around pressing questions like how can Africa rescue and strengthen its democracy amid depicting public trust, disputed elections, and growing concerns over state capture. Now, let's cross over here to our correspondent Sumaya Abubakar at the Shehu Musa Yaradua Center in Abuja, where the conference has just kicked off. Sumaya, how are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you, Inam. Good afternoon.
Good afternoon. Sumaya, what's the mood on the ground as the conference begins today?
Well, I will tell you, but I would rather show you, based on the movement, behind me or around me, it is, numbers of people talking about multi-generations, starting from the youth to the elderly, are all here. We have delegates from all African countries, people, politicians, civil society, political figures, and even the youth are coming here, and it's all about how democracy has been going so far in Africa. And of course, I would have to point out the theme, which is democracy in crisis, exploring new pathways to governance and development in Africa. So there is so much, this discussion is so robust, there is details to it, and I will tell you that people are really, passionate about this. There's so much enthusiasm around this place today.
Now, Sumaya, can you let us in and let us know are there any notable reform proposals or calls for action emerging from the conference thus far?
Yeah, so far there seems to be a lot. There's been a robust, discussion, and currently they're on break. But then so far they pointed out that in every 10 African youth, about one of them have protested, have gone to, participate in a political protest. So it's saying the numbers have increased of people or African youths not satisfied with what is happening in Africa in terms of democratic deliverance. They also talked about 60% of youths in Africa are not, satisfied about this. So there is numbers. They said they've made so much research on this. Talking about electoral autocracy, they said that there's a lot of military regime going on, and people seem to be okay about this, thinking because there's a dysfunctional, democracy, that is the outway. But then they say that that is not the way to go so far. They talked about countries that so far have democracy. Mauritius is part of them, Botswana, and Namibia, Cape Verde as well. But then apart from that, a lot of African countries do not have this. So here there is a book or something they call the Center. I would have to point on that. They said the Citizens Charter. Now this is something they say they are going to sign at the end of this two-day conference, which would be something that means that there is not going to be stop. This is not about just the conference here. After this conference, there is going to be a deliberate effort to make sure that this, these discussions here are achieved in Africa. And they also talked about community movement, saying that so far we've seen countries, going out, country like Nigeria with the NSAS protests and end bad governance protests. They also pointed out Madagascar that were, they're currently on the streets, talking about poverty and how the democracy is not working for them, pointing out that Madagascar rather, is one of the African countries, or one of the countries in the world that provide numbers of vanilla, but then they are poor among countries. They also talk about Morocco protests that happened during the World Cup, saying that they are building stadiums instead of building schools. So they are saying, multiple African countries were mentioned like this, saying that people are now going out on the streets to point out their worries. And of course, with this citizen charter that is being discussed here and would be signed, there is a deliberate effort to make sure this move does not stop here.
Sumaya, thank you so much for keeping us engaged and well-informed in Abuja.